Hello everyone, today we are going to start off with another series that is Essential JavaScript. Basically, the main aim of this series is to get you going with library or framework, for example, React or Angular. So I won't go over entire JavaScript, right? I'll go over essential part that you need to get started. So let's begin. So first video, we'll learn about variables, right? And also preferably data types if I have time, but variables, that is the first thing that I'll be, teaching you. Variables are nothing but storage, right? You want to store something. If I can type storage properly, so if you have to store something, use variable. Best example, let's say I say constant date. I'll talk about constant date after this, right? I'll say number and I'll say 9. Now what will happen? Let's say I'll do console.log. Okay, before you start yelling at me, I'll tell you what is console.log. Wait, so in browser we have something called as console, right? At the time of development, I want to see something. I want to understand what is going on with my variables. So that is the reason I'll be using console.log. It's just like a print statement or system.out.println or your cout or printf, right? At least for the languages I know, echo too, right? But echo, it does on the main window. But anyways, if you have to see something on the console of that particular build, here in this case browser, because JavaScript runs on the browser, yeah, so JavaScript runs on the browser. So that is the reason when at the time of development, you want to see something, you do console.log. Of course, first it might look lengthy, but over a period of time, you'll get used to it. Not a problem. So here I'll refresh. I have 5 server connected. So that is the reason you see some squiggly errors and all irrelevant stuff. So please ignore that. We have our output. Don't get distracted. Well, I was talking about storage and variables. So variables are nothing but storage. So for example, I have to do some complex calculation. These are your calculations. There is nothing, um, you know, suspicious. And then let me say I will do some, I don't know, number minus 9, number minus 8 times number times number. Now you might tell me you're so dumb, you could have used 999 here. Yeah, that is true. But we are talking about a better use case wherein we have thousands of lines of code, a lot of calculation. If you look at typical code base, we do have lakhs of lines of code, right? So here what happens, of course, I do get my answer. Where is this? 9 again, okay. Is it 9 again? Okay, 81, sorry. But you can next time come over here and just do 900. Sorry, 900. Doesn't matter. So see, right? Of course, you might have thousands of lines of code and so on and so forth, right? Another use case, not going to write it. You can just note it down. Let's say I have a document or string, right? Strings are nothing but, for example, I'll call it str and something that is enclosed in double quotes, right? You have a lot of sequence of characters inside that. And now inside this sequence of characters, let's say we have, I have to write, I'm sorry. I have dev and then dev. This is dev. Again, a really dumb example. We look at better examples when we are learning at strings, but this is one of the way to make you understand really quickly, right? We have some better concepts coming in. So dev, this is dev. If I have a large string, right, and tomorrow your project manager or some developer from other team that are collaborating comes and tells you that this is not dev, this is developers, what are you going to do? Yes, modern IDs or editors do have this option. I can select a lot of things at a time and do all those things, but yeah, let's say what you're going to do. So basically, things which are going to change in the near or far future, I store it, right, in the name of something, right? So doesn't really matter. Dev, of course, we'll look at the rules. So here, what I'm going to do is I'll change it to template literals. We'll learn about template literals when we are doing string. As of now, I'm really sorry, I can't explain more about it. But anything that it comes in backtick is template literal. What is the advantage? Of course, we will look at it. I just don't want to distract, but I'm just showing you. My main aim is to make you understand why we need variables, right? So here, name this is by, of course, fast forward. Okay. So now, after you saw me type some gibberish, I'm going to just paste this. And here in the console.log, I'm just going to write str. You can find out that if I refresh, we're not going to read this, right? But my main aim is, here we have a lot of dev, but anytime now your manager comes and tells that it should be developer, you just do this. That's it, right? And here we have developer instead of dev. 1,000 lakhs of lines of code, doesn't really matter. And this is not the same for string, it can be for numbers as well. So a lot of time is saved on that, right? So again, going back, what is variable? So if you want to store something that is going to change or that involves some complex calculations, you can use variable, right? Now there are rules for writing variables. Okay, so you're not supposed to use any kind of keyword, right? So again, going back, console.log of number, like this. Sorry. You cannot use keywords, right? So there are some keywords in JavaScript. So as of now, we saw one keyword, that is const. I can tell const console.log const. And when I go back, I have this error saying unexpected token const, right? If it's also keyword, right? Your editor is actually complaining, but yeah, I just want to say unexpected token. That means you're not supposed to use any kind of keyword. Okay. You can start with underscore or letters, for example, numbers. Okay. And here, numbers. Letters is possible. You can start with underscore. Doesn't really matter. You can use underscore here as well. It's the same thing, right? Also, you can use $sign. Some people do use it. I've seen some of my uh, fellow developers using it. So, yeah. So you can use symbols, special symbols, right? And yeah, I told you about cannot start with numbers. What else? There is a convention. There are two types. Okay, two types. I'm going to write this, very important when you start your developer journey. Even I did not follow it initially, but you have to follow. Now, for example, there is a variable called const fruit, and I cannot write numbers over it. Doesn't make sense, right? So you cannot use these kind of things, right? So if it's a number, you have to write a number. Or if it's going to be squared in the future, you need to write square or something like this, right? Write responsibility, write your variable names responsibility. Otherwise, of course, it's not going to make sense. Okay. Second thing is the convention of using camel case or using underscore. Now you cannot do like this. First name. This is an error, right? You can't do this. There are two options by which you can, actually tackle this. First, this is called as camel case, wherein this convention uses the first letter as lower order and the second one as an uppercase. Correct? Second, some of them do use this convention, but I like camel case a lot. So that is it. Now, lastly, I'm just going to take 5 minutes. What is this const that I've used here? Let's go back. There are two things. One is the let and const. Of course, there is a third one, var. I'm not going to cover it as of now. We will learn it. We will learn it in ES6. ES6, right? Simple. Const means constant, and let means that thing that is changing. For example, I'll write const number is equal to 90. Okay. In the very next line, I'll tell number is equal to 900. Let's say I have to reassign it. So that is the reason I reassign. Now I'll just save it. I'm not going to console it. You can see that my browser shows an error assignment to constant variable. So the main aim of constant is that you're not supposed to redeclare whatever value has been already given, right? Someone has already declared it. So in real life scenario or in code based scenario, what happens is the fellow developer has written something and he doesn't want any of the developers to change it. So that is the reason const has been used. And is this the normal thing? Yes, most of the time we use const. We don't want anyone to change it, but there is an option. Let allows you to change. I can do whatever I want. I can tell number times number times 23. I don't know what I'm going to. It's just a random thing. 232. Okay, whatever it is. Uh, okay, so there is no error. So that is the reason I'm going to go ahead and do console.log and number, right? So some lengthy number, ignore this lines. So just to give you a recap, what is a variable? Things that are going to change if you have to store it and you might change it in the future or use it for some kind of manipulation or calculation, you are going to use a variable. All right. And these are the two types, let and const. Const means that doesn't allow you to redeclare it. It should be constant throughout your page. For example, app.js here, let allows you to redeclare. Okay. In the next video, we will definitely look at different kind of data types, and preferably, I think we can start off with one of the data types and my favorite one, that is arrays. Thank you for watching.